Hello, beautiful ones. I hope you're all having a beautiful now. And hopefully, you're staying cool wherever you are. Here in Northern California, I think a few days ago we were in 105, some places maybe a little bit higher. Today is a beautiful, beautiful day. There's a cool breeze. It's probably in the 80s, but it's so beautiful right now. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about how we are able to use the different experiences that are before us and the ones that we have experienced or we've had to go through to benefit us, to help grow us, to help mold us, to help us become more compassionate or more loving, or just to help us be more understanding of others. There's so many different ways that are different things that we can take from it, or lessons, things that we can use for the well-being not just of ourselves, but for the well-being of everyone that we come into contact with. It's really important to realize that we all do have an impact on each other. We are all very much connected. But apart from that, you hear a lot of the time that everything is here to serve you. And I don't know if many of you have heard that. Everything is here to serve you, and I never believed that. I think before I always felt like I was against everything, or everything was against me somehow, and it's interesting because I feel like slowly I was taught, and I was almost like trained to see how that in fact was not true, and that I was actually being assisted, and not it wasn't that the universe was working against me, but that the universe was always working with me and was always on my side. And not just my side, it's on everyone's side, really. But it was just life was backing me up, was always backing me up, and having that attitude, but realizing that too. And it was difficult because I think I was just really negative growing up. I grew up around a lot of negativity, and I just saw life as, that's just the way that it is. And as I grew up and I started kind of venturing outside of what I knew, I realized that I was not seeing things the way that they clearly were, and that the way that I was seeing them was actually not really benefiting me. It wasn't helping me at all, and that I could change the way that I saw things, and that even if I didn't change it, if I just noticed that things were actually working for me, were working to assist me. So, for example, I don't know if any of you have had this happen to you, where you have something you want something really, really bad, right? And you're like, I want this. I don't care what it takes. I want it. And it's like nothing. It's almost like the universe is conspiring against you to have this thing that you want, and it's almost like upsetting, right? And then later on, like maybe down the line, we end up finding out why. Maybe there was a reason why. Maybe this thing that we wanted would have been really, really bad for us. Maybe it would have taken us down the opposite path of where we wanted to go. Maybe people would have been hurt needlessly, or whatever it may have been that you found out. And then you were like, oh wow, that's what a coincidence, or whatever you told yourself about it. But it's interesting because sometimes you don't realize it right away, and that's part of learning to trust yourself, learning to trust the universe. Something that I'm still working on. It's interesting because as I've said before, I have a connection to my multidimensional self, to my source, as do all. And I'm able to see myself in many different ways. I'm able to understand things, but at the same time, and know things, I guess, but at the same time, I'm still having a human experience, which is a beautiful experience, where I have bad days, where I have bad moments. It's just that I'm able to just kind of corral the monkeys back into the I don't know, I'm just kidding, but just I'm able to just bring myself to my center, if you want to put it that way, and if I would put it that way, bring myself to my center, and I'm able to just remember who I am, and it kind of passes, So I found that it's very empowering, though, to realize that the things that happen to you in your life, the relationships, the jobs, the circumstances, how we grew up, how all these things have shaped us out to be exactly how we need to be in this moment. And although we may not like every aspect of ourselves, we are so beautiful. We're as beautiful as that beautiful water that we're looking at sparkling. Look at it, it looks like magical. So we are that magical too. You know, we're this beautiful splendor, and yet, you know, we don't see ourselves that way, and that's okay, because we are seen that way, because we are that way still, regardless of how we see ourselves. But sometimes we have things that come up and they're challenging for us, and we wonder why they're happening. Why are all these bad things happening to us? You know, why me? You know, why is there something against me? Is there someone against me? And I want us to try to remember that those things, every experience pretty much that happens to you, everything that you go through, those things that we go through, those things, we can use those things, like I've talked about, you know, planting those seeds and allowing them to flourish and allowing them to grow, you know, allowing them to become gold in your being, in your soul. And it's like I feel like our being, you know, has such varied experiences, because I mean, we get to have so many widely different experiences here on this plane. You know, you can be a beggar, but you can also be a, you know, multi-billionaire. You can be everything that you want to be. And so we come here and we have this experiences and we get caught up in them and we forget. And we forget that everything that is happening on our behalf, is happening for us. Why would our being fuck us over? Think about it. You know, we talk about our higher self, our source, God, spirit, whatever, life, universe. And we talk about that energy that we are one with, by the way. And why would that energy hurt us? That energy is not attempting to, it is helping us. It's helping us through each and every experience. Each and every experience carries its own magic and its own richness that is available to all who are willing to partake in it, who are willing to be brave enough and courageous enough and be ready to step up and say, okay, I know this happened to me, but I'm not gonna let this define me. I can move past this. I can stand up and I can be stronger because of this. If anything, I can be more compassionate and I can understand life and understand things that I would have never understood. I feel like for me, as it might be with other star seeds, and I should probably address what that is too. Well, maybe I'll make a video about it later. But pretty much I would say that star seeds are beings that are connected to and remember lives in other planes and other planets, who know that they are here to be of assistance to humanity, because maybe they themselves have done this in another planet, or they are just so loving that they are wanting to assist humanity. It's coming from like a, you know, from a place of love where they're wanting to assist, because we all heard the call go out. We all heard that Earth was in distress, and so we came to assist, and we love humanity. We admire humanity. But we also see humanity suffering. And as a being, I get to have a human experience that allows me to understand, or at least get a glimpse of that suffering, because I don't understand everyone else's suffering. You know, someone's suffering may be deeper than I could ever imagine. You know, I can only experience what I experience at this moment. And I mean, there's obviously so much more, but but I don't understand everyone's pain, but I do understand my own pain, and I know how deeply I feel, and I know what it's like to suffer, to call out for help, to feel lost, to feel trapped, to be desperate, to feel like you want to end your life because you don't see a way out. It's just a dark tunnel before you. And that's not what it is. Now I realize that, you know, for a long time, that's how I saw life. And if I learned anything that can help another being, wherever another being may be, and whomever they may be, I hope that I can. It's so crazy because we're looking for this light, for this love, for this source, for this power. And it's always here with us. It's never left us. And it's always here assisting us. It's not here to hurt us. It's not here to trip us up, to slow us down. It's here to assist us. And maybe sometimes you do need to slow down. You know? Maybe sometimes you're trying to go from 0 to 100 miles when you really need to be maybe going from 0 to 20 to start off. Just to be kind to yourself. To get to where you want to go in the smoothest possible way, in the most loving way. So I just say, look at your experiences and realize that everything that you've been through is here to assist you, to help you, that you can take it, that you can allow it to mold you into a better version of yourself, into a version of yourself that can see more deeply, with more compassion, with more understanding, with more empathy, with more mercy, realizing that we all make mistakes, we all suffer, we all feel things. However deeply it is, it's up to each one, right? But we all feel these things, and we are all worthy of help, of mercy, of assistance. And we always have it here. I want to also remind you that there's always assistance available for all of us. You can call it out. And as difficult as it is in the beginning, you learn to realize that you can actually thank those experiences, those things that have happened to you. Thank them. Thank them, because maybe you wouldn't have understood life the way that you do now. You know, maybe the way that you understand life is more expansive now. Maybe there's things that you didn't understand that you needed to in order for you to move forward and have other experiences. I mean, you don't know. It's almost like you'd have to like turn around and like be looking through like a scope and just like widen it to be able to see everything. And perhaps then you would see it, but can you trust that? Can you look back at your own experiences and find ways that maybe they helped you? Maybe challenge yourself to find ways in which those experiences helped you, in which, you know, your worst nightmare was actually, you know, the best dream, the best thing that could have happened to you, as difficult as it may be. And can you make peace with the past? Can you make peace with what was? I know it's not something that you do automatically. It is something that you do as you can, as slowly, as fast as you can, as you need to. But I want to encourage you all to continue forward, to realize that you never know what richness is in front of you, beside you, forward. That life is worth living, that each moment is precious if we just allow ourselves to see it that way. I love you, beautiful ones. Be well.